Hey everyone, this is Sarah from Black Note Transcriptions, and today we're going to talk about the 4 times when it's okay to skip practicing. Now, no matter what instrument you play or how long you've been playing, you've definitely been told that you have to practice. Whether it's your teachers, other musicians, your students, your friends, your colleagues telling you this, it's something that every musician hears, and we hear it all the time. You must practice all the time. It's a lot of pressure, and sometimes it can lead us to over-practicing or practicing when we shouldn't. So these are the 4 times when it's okay to skip practicing. The first time when it's okay to stop practicing or to skip practicing is if you are in physical pain. If playing your instrument or singing is causing you pain, it's okay to stop. Sometimes when we play with pain, we might be causing or enhancing injuries that we already have. If you are playing with improper technique or singing with improper technique, it's really easy to hurt yourself and to actually hurt your body. So if you are feeling an intense, bad pain while you play, talk to your teacher, talk to another musician. Maybe if you have a physical therapist or somebody like that, talk to them about the pain you're experiencing. A lot of musicians at some point get some kind of overuse or misuse injury. Now, these injuries aren't always really serious, but if you keep playing with the injury and keep making it worse, it can be something that is irreversible. So if you have any amount of pain while you play, take it seriously and speak with somebody. In this, we are of course excluding any pain that is caused just by general fatigue. We all know that practicing does make our bodies sore after a while if we are practicing really hard or if we're practicing for a long period of time. So in those scenarios, of course, take a little break, get some water, come back to it, see what you can do. But if you are overusing and injuring yourself, please stop, figure out what you're doing wrong, and correct it before you start playing again. Time number 2 when it's okay to take a break is if you are just completely physically and mentally exhausted. If you are reaching a point where you are feeling really burnt out and just completely drained of all energy and drive, it might be time to take a couple days off. Now, we all get really tired sometimes, and we all have periods of time where we just aren't feeling it. See if you can distinguish between being tired or feeling a little bit lazy some days and being truly burnt out and just absolutely drained. If you are pushing yourself really hard through that burnout feeling, that burnout phase, it can lead not just to overuse injuries like we talked about in our first point, but it can also lead to you just not enjoying what you're doing, and that can be really detrimental to your playing. You need to be enjoying your playing, and you need to be making progress. So if you are making those mistakes because you are that drained and that burnt out, it's definitely time to take a break. Step away from your instrument, give it some distance, take some time to remember why you fell in love with your instrument in the first place, and come back to it. Time number 3 when it's okay to skip practicing is if you just can't make any noise right now. If you are in a situation where you cannot make noise, that's okay. Sometimes you might have left your practicing until 2 in the morning and you live in an apartment building and nobody wants to hear trombone at that time, so don't practice. However, there are things that you should be doing to prevent this from happening. And of course, there are so many things that you can be doing instead of making noise on your instrument. You can be listening to your music, you can be practicing ear training, you can be transcribing, you could be arranging, you could be composing. There's so many things that you can be doing with your time that don't involve making noise with either your voice or your instrument. Also, schedule your practice hours so that you don't run into this situation. If you find yourself very frequently leaving your practicing until the middle of the night, get a planner, use a calendar, schedule out your hours so that you do not have this excuse anymore. And lastly, time number 4 when it's okay to skip practicing is if you are truly feeling uninspired. Now, this might sound like a really bad excuse to some people, and sometimes it is a really bad excuse. But if you are just feeling absolutely out of love with your instrument and you don't really know why you're doing it anymore, it might be a good idea to take a day or 2 or even a week off. Get some distance from your instrument, get some distance from your music. This would be a great time to start listening to new music or listening to old music that you fell in love with. Find all of the reasons why you fell in love with your instrument in the first place and see if you can rekindle those feelings somehow. If you are truly feeling uninspired, you might just be overwhelmed or burnt out, which leads us back to our point number 2. If you're burnt out, you might just need to take a break. But if you're finding that you have truly fallen out of love with your instrument, that's something that you need to take seriously, because it happens. Sometimes we go down a path playing a certain instrument or performing in a certain style or genre, and after a while we realize, this isn't really for me. I don't love this anymore. Maybe I don't love the competition, or I don't love the repertoire, or I don't love the practicing that I'm doing, or maybe I just don't love the music. That happens. Our tastes change, our dreams and our goals change. So if you're feeling like you're in this place where you don't really belong, that's okay. Music is such a huge community, and it's such a huge concept that there are so many things you can do to really find yourself. So if you have some musical dream that you haven't been chasing, see if you can really remember what that dream is and follow it. Because in music especially, there are no limits. You can do whatever you want, and that should be inspiring in its own. If you're finding that music as a concept does not inspire you at all anymore, that's okay too. It's rare, but it's okay. If you need to call it a day and pack it up and be done with it, then do that. I don't encourage that, of course, because I feel like everybody is a musician somewhere within themselves. But if that's what you need, do it, because it's best for you. So these have been our top 4 times when you can skip practicing. If I have forgotten anything, please let me know. I'm sure that we all have many other excuses that maybe I am forgetting. But don't forget, if you don't have an excuse, consider practicing, because it will make you feel so happy and you'll feel amazing and you'll improve. And when you improve, your whole life improves. So if you don't have one of these excuses, go practice. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to subscribe to our channel, you can do so by clicking on the little red subscribe button. And if you want to receive notifications about when we post new things, you can click on the little bell and it will ring every time that we share something new. If you want to see more of our content, or read our blog, or look at our transcription and arranging custom services, you can visit our website at blacknotetranscriptions.com.